Okay, good.
So you go this way so that they can. You go this way so that Kofi can. Okay, we are going to start our Facebook Live very soon, or we have already started, I would say so. And we are going to begin with prayer to Legba Ajibosu, what some people call a shoe. People call it a legua. I mean, it is all the same way we call it in our local language, which is a legba or legba. That's our stand. And this is the Agbonu legba, the legba at the gate. Agbo means gate. So we are going to pray to the Agbonu legba, which is the one which is here, legba. This is the what we call a jachi. You meet these words in some of my videos, a jachi, or in some of my writings, a jachi. A jachi simply is a corn flour, water poured on corn flour to use it praying to the spirits sometimes. So a jar also means something like something that cools things down. So a chi is water. So we say a jachi. Oh, ago, Legba Ajibosu. Ago, Legba Ajibosu. Ago, Legba Ajibosu. Ba manomi di medo angoso. Emo pla, emi pla medo ago. Legba agbo chakachu. Eyo ora te o di difenu poto, o keleme nu poto, o zanu poto, o victime nu poto. Legba agbo nyengodro no habeta pete. Legba agbo nyengodro no habeta pete. Legba agbo nyengodro no habeta pete. Agbo chakachu. Eyo ora te ba me no mi di me do angoso. Engo pla, emi pla. Nyatepe. Oh, le Facebook live wo. Oh, amesema me ado gbera now. We le dodi o ape. That now na hop. Na dagbe ba. Oh, me yo afana go no afagbo ma teso pe to no zo lo me da pa gidi. Me yo koli gbe meji, yoku meji, oli meji, ni meji, oso meji, ni meji, ata meji, atela meji, wita meji, sa meji, trupe meji, tula meji, leke meji, che meji, fu meji, koli che tula me yo. Le bore, le bodi no kwa to ma no Bokor ba. Okay, right. Oh, right. You don't see the door open. Go, I'm going to go la micha. I'm going to go spend the plan. That's what I can touch you for. Okay, no. Ozumalaka na agboji na tepe ye babia adu borano. Yeah, you know, Facebook Live. I let me jump on the plan now. You should bring give us life, protect us. I may even when and those who are the things are not working well, it should work. You, where? Did you ever? I mean, I'm hello. Bobo. Let me see a room away. Cosra, you may need a good benefit. Cosra, me bobo nami, a pola call me. Yantepe, I'm a real affidavit. I'm going to you. Chop when I share the dominant boy. If somebody is somewhere saying what we agree should not be well, he should use his club and hit the person's head, and then the person's mind will wake up. Hey, tonight. Oh, come, Okay, we are now back, and I think we have Bokor. Bokor Bullet Lefi. Sena Benono interview Bullet. What interview do they want to interview him? They told you what to ask him?
Yeah, about his biography, his story. So how he was born into Voodoo and how you learned how to practice. So I think what we can talk about, what it's interesting to talk about in this session could be the transmission of the knowledge. How Voodoo gets to be shared and that knowledge passed through ancestors, elders, children.
And the way they put it roughly, it's not like I don't know. The Bullet can introduce himself. He's a Bokor. Then after Madam,
you and you Bokor Bullet. Near the African Magic Temple, the Spinters Road. Near the African Magic Temple, you can have then you go for the Mula Mikoni again. Adam there for Sayliqua, you only to another tuper.
I will explain later.
Okay, thank you.
The African Magic Temple, the Spinters.
So what Bullet is saying that his name is Bokor Bullet. Bokor in every language means someone who has been initiated into Afa. If you are initiated into Afa and you are a teacher, then you are called a Bokor in every language. So he is telling that we are at African Magic Temple, and here at African Magic Temple we do a whole lot of things. We do divination, and when we find out whatever is wrong, we do the Vosa sacrifices. In every we call it Vosa. We do the Vosa so that we can fix the situation. And there are so many things that comes and we handle it. So we are at African Magic Temple. So that's what African Magic Temple does. And then of course Revolution, which is a branch of African Magic Temple. Whatever they are also teaching is the same thing we are doing here. Yes. Any question coming from anybody? No,
Yeah, Shaggy
Shaggy V.
from Soga Coffee.
Okay.
And here's a question about Afa for Bokor.
Bullet.
Yeah. And what are, in general, and what is Afa and what are the huku seeds and how can one use his Afa to benefit him or her?
The question is who could see how people use Afa to benefit themselves?
Yeah, how is it possible to use Afa to get benefit?
Okay, Bokor.
Yeah, a fella, I think I could benefit Lamala. You never for them. Uzube Madopom now. In a child or a young one. Well, if you ever met the school, at the school near Balan, young one, I could never name or him. I eat a fagbo, Abia. Need to do for them no Fagona blogger. No way. A safe of one. I could benefit them. More of no. Even Amado Vijim, Moko Vinoji. Uzuba na name of Homuno, when your nature no Kafa, no need to do for them no la. No sir, even for to rent a papa. Amako Viaji.
So what the Bokor Bullet was saying simply is that how you can benefit from Afa. Afa is the same thing that the Yorubas call Ifa. We will call it in Ebe Afa. So Bokor Bullet is saying that how you use Afa to benefit yourself and maybe people around you. For instance, you are looking for a job, and anytime you are looking for the job but you are not getting the job, it is not because you have not gone to school. You know that you are qualified, but You go and they don't take you. You go here, they don't take you. You go there, they don't accept you. Or you are looking for a child, and you know you've gone to hospital. They say, "Oh, you are fertile. Your husband is fertile, but the child is not coming, or the opportunity is not coming. The work opportunity, the job is not coming. The things you are looking for are not coming." Then you will approach Afa and ask for divination. And in that divination, Afa is going to see what is wrong with you or whatever is blocking your ways. Then Afa will give you directions what to do. And when they do the Vosa, which is sacrifice, then it will remove whatever is on your path, and then the things will start happening. So that is how you use Afa to do it. So Afa is more like a pathfinder. Afa is a divination tool. It's the one that looks into God or looks into nature and tell you what is happening, which the ordinary eye or the ordinary ears cannot know, hear, or see. So Afa, being a spirit, will go behind the scene, look for what exactly is happening, and then pick the solutions as well, and then give them to the Bokor to tell you that do this, do that. And when you follow, definitely you will find meaning. You want to ask
Ilario?
Yeah, Ilario.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ilario from Italy. I wanted to ask a question to Mr. Christopher. I wanted to ask you a question regarding now with social media and globalization, both the Voodoo and Afa culture is spreading, and more and more people have access to that. My question is, can people that are not initiated somehow worship either the Voodoos or Afa as we did, as we just did at the beginning of the session today, or that it's not recommendable? Thank you.
If I can understand your question well, if I can understand your question well, is like Afa and Voodoo, people who are not initiated, can they practice? Is that a question? Or
if they can
worship,
pray.
Yes, the people can pray anywhere, anytime. But you see, the reason, if you are not okay, so trying to answer Ilario's question is, those who are not initiated, can they worship or practice? Yes, they can practice, but what kind of practice can they do? That's what we have to define. Initiation is giving you a direct contact with the spirit, with the Voodoo, with the oracle, so that you and that oracle, you become one. So when you call upon it, it can answer you, because you have gotten something from the oracle inside of you, and the oracle also has gotten something from you. So there is this two-way connection between you and the oracle. That is what initiation is all about, or with the Voodoo or whatever. So if you want to just pray, you can pray. But when you are initiated, it becomes very strong, because the voice that you will speak and the spirit will listen is different from the voice that you will speak and the spirit will not listen. Take for instance, your name is Ilario, and I know your name as Ilario. If you are walking and I start shouting, Ilario, 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 one thing will come in your mind, that this person probably knows me. Are you getting the point?
Yes.
You feel that, oh, this person probably knows me. But if somebody is just shouting, hey, 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 sometimes you will tend to look around who is shouting, or whether it is you they are calling or who they are not calling. So this is the difference when you come into initiation. Somebody who knows you, once he calls you, you know. And then maybe when you were, you may have a pen name, which we call here nickname. And if somebody called that nickname for you, immediately you remember where that name is coming from. It will come into your mind that this name I should be from school, or this name should be from this kind of society or community, and that automatically will come. So when a person who is not initiated into Voodoo, he may not know the names of the Voodoo or all the different names. You see, like when we were praying to Legba, now we didn't just say Legba. There are so many other words we use to invoke him or call his name. That makes Legba realize that, oh, these are my people. So you can practice without getting initiation, or you can worship without getting initiation. But if you want to have a direct contact with the Spirit so that the Spirit can really listen to what you are saying, you need to be initiated.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
That answers my question.
Okay.
Thank you.
You too, you can ask if there's no question coming from here.
Yeah, we still have the point about the huku seeds.
Huku
Seeds. I never heard of huku.
Huku?
Like Huku.
Hunku.
Huku. Yeah, that is the point, the language.
You see, that's what I was talking about.
Yes.
The Eve, see, they cannot write it well because they are not using the Eve
Alphabet, yeah.
They are not using the Eve alphabet, so they cannot write it. They write Huku, which is Huku. But in Eve, there must be a santegui on top of the U, which make it Hun. So it changes, once that asan comes on top of the U, it changes the pronunciation. It's no more U as U, but it becomes So it's Hunku. So Hunku is the when you get a fa, the thing that will be given to you, which is the fa, is a Hunku. So when you are initiated into a fa, it is the Hunku is what they give you, and that is what is your fa. The other thing that we are throwing and all this in, this is just a representation of the real fa. The real afa is always kept in secrecy somewhere. You can keep it so that nothing touches it, and it is only when there is a feeding, a yearly feeding ceremony, and you feed your fa. That is the day that you bring that out, and that is the day you will use that particular to do divination. You will not use the chain anymore because it is the real thing. The chain is just a representation of the real fa. So when you see us doing the chain and doing all these things, the fa itself is in the room or is somewhere, and it will only come out when they feed it on a yearly basis, and then that day you have to check the huku. It's like it's a kernel, but it's coming from a special palm, not just from the normal palm. And that palm is called in Eve, it's like a royal palm. If you want to translate it into English, it's a royal palm, but it's not this kind of this. It's a name like a palm tree, palm nut, and it has everything. People even eat it, but that the seeds of that is what is used in making fa, and that is what we call hunku in Eve. Questions if there's any.
Yeah, about what are Tron Vodu?
A Tron. A Tron is also a Voodoo, but not every Voodoo is a Tron. Tron is a major Voodoo that a lot of other small Voodoos are supporting and around it. We can liken a Tron to something like an archangel, whereby other angels which are not archangels are working for, and each one has its own team that works for, and it is usually to protect a community or to protect a house. Like in this our house, we have a tron, but we have many vodus also. The tron that we have in this house is Tobi Jokpata, and Tobi Jokpata is the tron which is the archangel Camiel. In the Judeo-Christian or Hebrew word, if you want to translate it, is Archangel Camiel or Samuel or Camiel, he who wages war to end war. But in our language, we call it Chokpata. Things of sudden happenings. Is the chief or the protector of sudden happenings. So, a tron is also a voodoo, but because of its power, it is able to cover more and more space or communities and more people, and also have all the other voodoo, small voodoos that work with it, unlike his servants or messengers or people. So a tron is also voodoo, but not every voodoo is a tron. But then they have this thing called Trokosi. People say Trokosi. People don't know the real pronunciation. They say Trokosi. It's a Tron Koshi. Tron Koshi means a servant of the throne. It's Tron Koshi. And then every day, because of people trying to destroy our culture and want to make money out of it, the NGOs and all this thing, they going from one village to another, say they are looking for Trokosi, that they are slaves. In our culture, they are not slaves. They are called Tron Koshi. When they call somebody Koshi, it's like someone who saves a god. Yes, questions.
Yeah, we have a Nana Aqua. She was asking about the prayer.
Nana
like Aqua.
Mm-hmm.
She was asking about the prayer
Which
that
prayer?
we just did.
To Legba.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, how does it work? It's a very general question. But
How does the prayer work? It
Yes.
just works like how prayer works. What else can you say? The prayer works as prayer. How prayer works? We are invoking the energy of Legba to make what we are invoking Legba at the same time telling him what we are going to do in the house. And we were telling Legba that everybody that is around us and people who are coming into our temple who are seeking good things, it should help them. People who are having hard life within us, it should help them and make life easy for them. That's all that we were saying. And if people want to destroy us, he should use his club and break their head so that they will not come and destroy us. A white man makes gun. We will get voodoo.
yeah. And again, Shaggy
Yes.
is asking about Afa. And so to Bullet as an Afa priest, do you think, Bullet, that it is necessary now to store the stories of Afa in a book to preserve? What's your idea about storing?
Bukala, Magdalena for Boma. Yeah, no Masem, Amado, or say, Bukala Miwom, New Babajam, or Tamija Gomacho Japan, Majijula, a fire for Buka, Ado, a fire for Nyala, every mole, Bamole. Tami Babajam Alenia, or Afia Tree, for Bamo, either Yefugum, Damajio, Yeo of One, Majijula, Bala, and already.
So what Bokor Bullet is answering is that someone is asking whether fast stories can be put into books. Yes, fast stories are in many books. If you are not looking for it, you won't find it. Some are in French, some are in English, but then it is mostly about Yoruba tradition of Ifa. The every one is not so much written, but there is, but it's not common. The ones that are there are all written in French. So if you don't speak French, you cannot really read Afa stories. So now we at African Magic Temple, in collaboration with Togbe Jivenu's shrine, which is a Bullet's father, we are trying to translate the stories from Ewe as we are hearing it being told. We are trying to translate them into English. But I personally will also prefer to have the pure Ewe version, so that people who, because the Ewe version will be more deeper and more understanding, because language, when it is translated, it loses a lot of things. But for the sake of people who want to know about far stories are there in many English books. So even we trying to make another English book, then we are just making it from the way we tell our story, or the way we understand the story, to explain it to people. So we are on it. When the time comes, we will see it. So that's what that Bokor was saying. What would that maybe be a question?
My name is Selassie. I'm an intern with African Magic Temple. I wanted to ask that with libation, are there certain times in the day that it's more effective to pray via libation?
Yes, usually not only libation, anything that concerns prayer or whatever you want to do with prayer. The best time is to pray at the time that when you wake up and you don't speak to anyone. So you wake up early, and so that maybe the time you wake up, other people have not woken up, and you will be able to say your prayer. It does not necessarily mean that you have to come outside or anything. You can be in your room and say your prayer, and then also you can pour libation in the room if you prepare a place. But if you are living in a compound house like where we are now, then you wake up and you come to whichever place you decide to say your prayer or pour your libation. You go there, or if you like, you can just stand in front of your door and then you pour your libation. That is the best hour to pray. But then, if you are not able to do that, you can pray at any time. But there is also a time like 11:45 in the daytime, between 11:45 and 12 midday to about maybe 5 minutes after 12. That 20 or 10 minutes time is not a very good time to pray, because if you study astrology and also you study numerology and you study all kind of logis, you realize that even in the Judeo-Christian and Hebrew and all this Kabbalah and all that thing, the angels, the divinities always change. They change by the hour, they change by the minute, they change by the day, by a certain time. So it is in our own Ewe culture, whether our people know about that before they put this, they told us that that time is not a very good hour to pray. That's why they will tell you, let the sun reneda. Reneda means let the sun move to the other part of this is not to be in the midi, it should not be in the center. So it should move on. Then you can pray. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. It does. Thank you. Yes. And we have another question from Gonondo Sheila Mbele Kama from South Africa. And she's a Sangoma priestess in South Africa. And she's saying that it's important what you're doing, what we're doing, that's to demystify African spirituality and healing. And so she's asking about if we can touch the topic of the importance of sacrifices in the practice after the consultation, and also relating to the time frame. So after the consultation, when the sacrifice should happen and how that is managed.
Okay. When you do a divination or consultation with the spirit, whether it is through Fa or through the cowries or through the mirror or just through water, people do water reading, you can just put water down and start to roll, whatever you use as a divination tool. You as a diviner, you must be a real diviner. When I say a real diviner, you are not just someone who is just imagining and saying things. You must have clairaudience and clairvoyance, or you must have this sixth sense, people call it, or extrasensory perception, ESP. You should have these things before you can call yourself a diviner in the first place. When you don't have those things, what happens is that you know whatever you are saying is not real. So when you even do a sacrifice, it will not happen. But if you are a real seer, then when you whatever you see, definitely there will be solutions that will be given to you, how to and what to do to solve the problem. Some, they will just tell you, take a herb and let the person bath. Some, it may include or involve animal sacrifices. Some, even, they will tell you the location where you should do the sacrifice. The location to do the sacrifice, where to do the sacrifice. So when you know, or you have been given the direction where to do the sacrifice, then timing comes into effect. How long would it take? How long would it take for a person who has done a divination and things told to him or her and what to do? In fact, the minimum time to do it is, if you do it now, if is it minimum, I would say, if you do a divination now and you have the money and you have all the items that is needed, you should do the vosa or the sacrifice immediately. But Fa gives at least 17 days grace period. What I would say grace period in the sense that the Afa police or the Odus in Fa are 16 or are 17 altogether. So these 17 days, each Odu will be working. So the Afadu, as Eves call it, we don't call it Odu in Eve, we call it Du. Afadu will work within. So after the 17th day, when you are not able to do the sacrifices, then a lot of other what is against you. Whatever is against you before you come to do a divination. In that divination, you open the secret lid and you look into it and you have seen these are the things that are worrying me and these are the people that are worrying me. This are the situation that is making me feel uncomfortable or making things not happen. If they are witches or bad spirits or whatever is happening, they know. Not that you are doing divination and you think that they don't know that you have found out their secret. They also knew very well that you have found out their secret, and they also knew that you are being taking care of the tool of divination, or the spirits that have revealed this to you have told you to do something. So if you relax and the time surpasses, then they will say, oh, this person is not even serious, let's continue our work. And that is the time they will even tighten the things that are worrying you. So when you do the sacrifice later, it does not really work quickly as it should. So the timing is also very important. But we are living in an economic situation Somebody will hear about his problem, but he does not have the money. What can you do? So you have to give them the time so that when they are able to. But then what we do is that before, when the time elapses and it is long, before the person will do what was cast in the past, we will do another divination on the day that the person is ready for this thing. So we will use this new divination and add to the old one, and then sacrifice both, so that this one, the new one, will support the old one, because the old one will be dying off, and its effect is already happening. So you do a new reading or divination, and then use that new one to support what has taken time. But if the person is able to do it within the 17 days, then there's no problem of time, or there's no need of making another divination before doing the sacrifice. This is what happens in our shrine.
Another question. I wanted to ask that, is it a good thing that somebody consults the oracle maybe at the end of every month or at the end of every year? As in, consult Afa at the end of every... Is it good to consult Afa at the end of every month or at the end of every year?
Yes. Afa, you are supposed to consult it every day. You are supposed to consult it every day before you get out of your house, so you will know what the day will be like. Sometimes you are not supposed to go out that day at all, but since you don't know, you walk outside, bang, something hit you. Or you walk outside and you are staying somewhere and something happened, you start running. But if you had known that day, if you don't go out, it would have been better than going out. You would have stayed home. Which we Bokor, or those of us who are Afa priests and also Voodoo priests, we do almost every day. We call it Dofwe. Dofwe. Do in Ewe means to sleep. Dodo, to go to sleep. So when Dofwe means when you wake up, fo means to wake up. So you do, and when you fo, you check your life. So the Bokor no will call it Dofwe. Maka Dofwe. I'm going to do a Dofwe. I have woken up this morning. I want to do a reading to see how the day is and on which oracle am I today before my day is good for me. Then the oracle will tell you, oh, you are on Polymeji, Gbemeji, or you are on Ablameji or Yekudabla. Then you know the basic thing. If you need to do sacrifices to do quickly and get that off your way. If it is a negative oracle that comes, you must do a sacrifice to let that pass. Even if it is a positive oracle that has fallen, you must do the sacrifice in order that that thing can attract the positivity that is coming. So that is it. So for those who don't have that benefit of being able to do a daily reading or casting of Fa, because they are not initiated as Fa priests, or they are not Bokono, or they are not Vodusi or Hushi or Huno or this thing. They once a month, if they have the chance, or at least once a year, you go and to look meet an experienced Bokor, somebody who knows how to do a reading, and then you ask about your life. What will my next year be, or this year that I am entering? What am I going to face? What things should I avoid? What things should I do so that God and nature will bless me? So for Bokors also, every year, even though they do that Dofwe, we every year when you feed your Fa, that is the time you are going to ask the Fa, what is in the year for you? What things to do, what things to avoid, And not only in Vodu, also sometimes when we are doing any Vodu, the Vodus start talking. They will tell you that this year this is what it's going to be, and avoid this. I think Theophilus is here when I do my 31st. Sometimes I have to tell what the year is going to be like, what is going to be there, so what people should avoid, and all that kind of thing. So we tell, and if we also know that this year is going to be these things will happen, that will happen, and when they start happening, then you yourself will see that, oh, not only on you but on a global level also we do that. And then I think they have one in Bokonos in a society like in Togo, they call it a dufa, which is like for the community. They will sit down at the end of the year or at the beginning of a year. They will call those who are very experienced Boko to come and cast an oracle for the community to see what things the community should do to make prosperity. People should be alive, and things that move forward. Things to move forward, in life. So they do it, and then sometimes they will tell them that, oh, you know, all the people who died accidental death or traumatic death, these people have to be fed so that they will protect the town from any negative thing coming in. Or they will tell you that, oh, you know, the Apeli or Apeli for a town is no more called Apeli, it's called Duli. Apeli is only in the house, not the room, but in the house. But the one that is for the whole village is called a Duli, but they usually have a name for them. Some people call it a Dutor, all kind of things. A Dutor means the owner of the town. Even though it's a spirit, they are calling it the owner of the town because it is upon it that the community is Vo. Vo means to be in freedom. So Vodu, to give freedom to the community. That's the word Vodu. Vodu. So the spirit that gives that freedom to the community is called Vodu. So sometimes they also go, then they will say, oh, that Vodu there, or the one that is Dutor or Apeli or Duli should be fed. And then it wants to do this and that, it needs this thing, it needs this animal, it needs that animal to be used for the sacrifices, and then things will change. So these are all in the, that's why I am always saying that Voodoo is not a religion. It's a way of life of the Ewe and the four people. That's all. So for us, all these things are part of our daily life. It's not like a religion. It is just part of you, whether you like it or you don't like it. It is part of you.
Yes.
Did I answer your question?
You did.
Great. Yes.
My name is Theo. I would like to know or find out if you have a stool in your house. Is it necessary you add another voodoo to it?
Yes, it is necessary to have another voodoo to it because the stool does not belong to you alone. It belongs to all of you, the whole community, or a whole clan, a whole group of families. But you as an individual, you can pray to the stool wherever you are. But the stool is not yours alone. But when you have a voodoo, that is your own thing. And then maybe that voodoo, tomorrow's nest can become a stool to your children. Because the person who has a stool in the beginning was just one person who started worshipping or using it to help his generation until generation become big. That's why everybody gathers to that same stool to pray. So that's why it's for everybody. That's why when they're going to set up to install a chief and all these things, they cannot only take one person's children, but they will take the grandfather who had founded that stool, his children. I mean, the generation, that blood lineage are the ones that will from continually become the chief on the stool. So when you have that one, it does not belong to you, because don't forget, maybe your grandfather has other boys and they also have their children, and their children have children, and it continues. Okay? So now that stool does not belong to you. One day somebody can tell you that, oh, you are not supposed to come closer to this one, even though you also can claim to it. But when you have your voodoo, no one can tell you that it is not yours. It is yours. So you have a stool in your house, but you can still have your own personal voodoo. That one you can always communicate with it without even asking anybody to come and open any door for you. Sack this cat. I don't know what really it wants. Kick it, kick it. Yes, any question on the line?
Yeah, about the role of drums.
The role?
Yeah, someone was asking a question. Name Ashamba Musa Muhammad. He was asking about the role of drums in Voodoo.
The role of drums in Voodoo is just like the role of music in spirituality. It is not different, because drums call spirits and voice calls God and spirits, because it is a human voice that you can use in calling God, and it's the same human voice is what you use in blessing people, and it is the same human voice that you use in cursing people. So the voice is very, very important. So voice brings out music, and drums accompany voice to create music. So spirits are attracted to, by a call with drums or with music. So the drums or beating of drums play a big role in spirituality as a general, not only in voodoo. But then also some spirits, when certain kind of drums are being beaten or are beaten, attracts them and really awakens them, just like human beings. Mind you, spirits are just like human beings. Voodoo is just like human being, but only that they are invisible. That's why I was saying in my last lesson that Voodoo is the act of having harmony with nature, visible nature and invisible nature. That's all that Voodoo is. How to create that harmony. But don't think that nature is only physical or is only visible. It is also invisible. So that too, the combination of the visible, the seen and the unseen, how to work it together is what Voodoo is all about. Yeah, that's Shamba Musa's question. Right?
Yes. And also in a few minutes we will also have Tron Voncujovi, one of the founder of Revolution, joining us on the streaming. He will join us from Tokyo.
So we'll be waiting for him.
My question is, if you are not initiated in African Magic Temple and you come here that you need a voodoo, you want a voodoo to go and practice at home, is it allowed?
Yeah, that's a good question. When you come, you are not initiated here, you say you need voodoo, I won't give you. It's as simple as that. I will not give you. Why won't I? I will not give you, because I don't know you. Voodoo is dangerous. It's like a knife. It can destroy and it can create. And I don't know you, and I give you voodoo, and I don't know whether you want to go and to use it to be killing people, or you want to be using it to steal people's things, or going to be controlling people anyhow. So I won't give you. Until I know you, I don't teach you anything.
Yeah, and a question from Isaac, and then we will have Sena joining us. So he's asking Isaac about... he's saying,
Isaac from where? We want them to tell us where they are connected.
Yeah, so
from.
when you ask your question, please tell us from where you're writing, from where you're
because
connecting.
otherwise we don't know. We want to know where you are calling from. Then we can also understand and then be able to connect with you.
Yeah, so it's important that when you ask the question, you write from where you are writing, from where you're connecting, where you base at the moment. And so I mean, Isaac's question was about there is a black god in one of the Buddhist temples. May I know is African god? We touched this topic also the other time.
That there's a black god in a Buddhist temple. Whether it's African god. Which god is that? Let me know first. The one that he saw there and know that it's a black god in a Buddhist temple. He should tell me which god it is. Then I will know whether it is African god or it's not African god. You can't just see anything and say it's a black god. How do you know it's a black god? Very interesting questions.
Yeah, okay, he also send it.
Should they bring you a table? Yes.
Angel Zion from the Bahamas.
Angel Zion from Bahamas, yes.
He's asking, is it necessary to place food and water for the ancestors every day or every week?
If you want to do it every day, it's fine. The Chinese do it, the Japanese do it, and in Thailand the Thais do it, and all other people who are trying to connect with nature, they do it. So if you want to do it every day, it's the best. But if you cannot do it every day, at least once a year, you should give food to the ancestors. Yes, if you can do it every day, fine. Because I live in Thailand for about 6 years, and I have very good friends who are real spiritualists and psychic. They are, of course, their country is Buddhist country, but they have their own thing. And every day we cook food and give to all the gods and water to all the gods. The following day, the same. They will remove all this one and feed them again every day. And in the Japanese home, they have a shrine. Every home, almost every home has a shrine inside, internal, where they put their ancestors, their names and photographs and everything. And every morning they go there, they light an incense, ring the bell, they quietly, they pray to they meditate on the ancestors, and then they put water. Once in a while, they will cook food for the gods or their ancestors. They all are Israeli. It's only the African who wants to be an Israeli. So they don't like their own culture, so they want to be Israeli people. I cannot understand how you want to be Israeli people when your own your face, you look in the mirror, you see that your nose is not like Abraham's nose, and you are saying that you are Abraham's grandchild. It's a stupidity.
Yeah, and then we have 2-3 questions we can put together, and then we have Sena with us. They are from US, these questions. One is from New York. Lynn, she's asking how to break a voodoo. Like if someone did a bad voodoo to you, how do you break it? What she need to do.
Okay.
And how do you know somebody?
Then they're asking if you're gonna be in US soon.
I just came back from the US 2 months ago, and I don't know whether I will be in the US soon. It all depends on who invites me to come for what. But the truth is that how do you know that somebody put a voodoo or juju on you? That's a lot of times. Today I was going to discuss destiny, but then this is the form that it is taking. Sometimes certain things happen to you in your life. It is your own destiny. The negative side of your destiny is what is making things hard for you. But then you keep imagining that it is someone who has done something to you. So how do you know in the first place that somebody has thrown a juju or has cast a spell on you?
Yeah.
First, to be able to know what is happening in your life, you must do a reading, a spiritual consultation. And if in that consultation you are told or you were told that no, somebody has done or has put a spell on you or cast a spell on you, then that person who is able to see that a spell has been put on you or cast on you should be able to know what to do to break it. It's just as simple as that. If the person can see, then he should be able to see the answers. Maybe he will see the answers, but maybe because of his initiation, he may not be able to do a ritual or vosa in order to. Then you approach an experienced priest who has the power to do a vosa. Even though as we are initiated as priests, it's not every priest that can do a vosa and it will be successful. The hands of a priest that does a vosa and it will be successful is also initiated. There is also an initiation to get so that when you do vosa for people, it should work. It is not just because you are a priest, then you can do a vosa and it will come. No. That's why people ask, how long can I learn if I want to learn Voodoo? How long? If I want to, it's a lifetime lesson. It's a lifetime school. There's no end to it, because every day you must learn something new, which you did not know before. But this tradition has been there before the worlds were being divided. This tradition has been here before Israel was born. But because our tradition was an oral tradition where a father tells a son and a son tells his son and this thing, so they were not written down. So because of this, our writing is only in coded form. Writing like the Afa, they'll just draw 2 line, 1 line, 2 line. It's all in code. So normal people cannot understand it. So our tradition is an oral tradition, because even that thing they have drawn down, they have to tell you orally and explain it to you orally so that you keep it in your memory. So these are the things you keep it in your memory. So we did not write things down by today, and then other people came with writing, and then all this, and it seems as if what they have is older than what the African has. No, it's not true. Voodoo had been there since man was born into this world. Moses and Elijah and all those people, they were doing Voodoo.
Yeah,
what were they doing? They were all doing the Voodoo of their ancestors. I don't know whether you know the story about Jacob when he was with his uncle Laban, and he wanted to marry his 2 daughters. He loved the younger one, but the uncle asked him to work for 7 years before they would give the younger one. And when he worked for 7 years, they told him that the older one cannot be there, you marry the younger one, so who give you the old one? The older one. But that's not the one he loved, so he took her. And then, so I like it's okay, then work another 7 years. So 14 years, you work again, another 7 years for the young one. Now they add the 2 sisters, they add the junior sister to the elder sister for him to marry. Then the uncle said, I cannot give you 2 daughters of my house. And then you walk away. You should work another 7 years. So he worked another 7 years, 21 years for his uncle. And then in the last 7 years, the uncle is okay, now that you have got my daughters, you are going to make a nation, or you're going to make your own family. So now I will give you some of my flock or sheep. But the ones that I will give you will be the ones that have spot. when the animals give birth, the ones that have spots, color or black and white, brown and all this, that's what I will give you. The ones that are very pure, that should remain mine. He took it as a challenge. He agreed that he will work. And what did he do? The Arabs call it Kable. The Jews are calling it Kabbalah. He went and get something and he binded things, like what we call Kable, bind, and use words and herbs. And he put it inside the water of the animals. So when they are coming to drink, when they give birth, they are giving the spotted ones and giving birth to the spotted ones. So by the time his 7 years was over, which is the 21 years, his flocks were bigger than his uncle's own. And because it's a promise, the uncle let him take everything away with him. So that is what Voodoo is. So you will not know, because they don't call it Voodoo, does not mean it's not Voodoo. Voodoo means spirit. So anything that you do with spirit is called Voodoo.
So yeah, now we have also Senna.
Has he joined?
Yes.
So you can say hi to us so we can hear.
Hello. Can you hear me fine?
So now you see we get echo. Okay, we'll manage it.
Hello.
Hello, Tena. We are here in the temple. And we are doing the Facebook live. We are joining you people in Tokyo. I don't think you can and tell them that they should cut it. Ask questions online for now.
Yeah.
They should ask questions online so that you through.
Yeah, there was some technical problems with having connecting with Tokyo or with Senna there. But we have other question from the people. I mean, it's many people are thanking us for the video. They are really enjoying and getting interesting, important information. And so we have someone who was asking how to reconnect with the ancestor, like a Kadira, I think from US, and he's a Mambo and received 2 different messages.
What is a Mambo? From Haitian Voodoo?
And he received 2 different messages to find his ancestral clan in Africa, and where his first ancestors came from and when they crossed the ocean. So do you have any recommendation on how to start this process, to find your ancestors in Africa while your ancestors have been brought to the other side of the ocean?
I think this tracing of ancestors back to Africa to find out where your ancestors came from, it's a good idea, but it is more of a business than a reality. I must be very frank and sincere. Because does it really matter that you have to come and see where your ancestor come from before you know you have an ancestor? It does not matter. So long as you are, then it is true that they too they were. Wherever they may come from, wherever they may not come from, you can always connect with them because their DNA is what is running in your DNA. So what is the feeling that I want to know which half of my body came from here, my quarter came from there, they say I'm from there. Yes, maybe for your own is it? No. It's okay. You should be careful what you are doing. So you want to know. But you can always connect with your ancestors wherever you are in the world. You don't need necessarily to come down to Africa and go to a particular family that you are looking for your ancestors before you can connect with your ancestors. Because your ancestors are you. And you are them. So you don't need necessarily to say that, oh, where in this part of Africa before I'll connect with my ancestors. If you can remember your own name, you can pour libation and say, I am this. Whoever gave birth to me and it's in this universe from wherever I know or I may not know. I'm calling you because your DNA is in my DNA or is my DNA. Wherever you are in the universe, in the spirit world, I am pouring libation to you. Receive it and work with me and let me connect with you. This is very simple thing. But of course, it's good if they come to Africa and they are lucky, or if we come to Africa and we are lucky to trace our roots, it makes you feel good. But you can always connect with your ancestors wherever you are in the world. You don't need necessarily to come here. So you can go to any shrine. Just if you know your father or your grandfather, you will just call their name and they can connect with this thing. Because sometimes even we who are here, we don't know all our ancestors. Because me, I don't know my great-great-great-grandfather's name. I don't know him. But I know my father. And I know my immediate grandfather. And I pray to them, and whoever is on that line should receive it. So I don't need to know the great-great-great-great-grandfather, which is about 400, 500 years ago. Where am I going to find the information? But if I can pray to my dead father or my dead mother and tell them that they should connect, because they are also dead. So they are living in the world of the dead people. They should connect with their ancestors or their people, and they should connect with me. I am still here, being here because of them. You are connected. You don't need to worry yourself that you want to know where your bloods came from. Your quota came from India, somebody came from Congo, somebody came from Fulani, somebody came from Mali, Dogon. All these things is just a waste of your own time. You can connect with ancestors wherever you are in the world at any time. Maybe my answer will be a little bit sarcastic, but the truth is the truth. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think also this touched a broader theme about it. Because like what Khadija was asking also is that she's having dreams. And so their ancestors are asking him in the dreams about it.
And so if ancestors are asking you, just pray to them. Connect with them. Because they are in you. You are part of them. You are their continuity. It's because of them you are here. And you can never deny them. Whether you know them physically or you don't know them physically, it is because of them you are here. Their DNA, the continuity of their DNA is you. And when you two give birth to children, your children also will continue that line, which is coming from whoever is the first person who is your ancestor. How are you going to know it? Or him or her? You can't.
Yeah, and related to libations, Charity from US asking if there are best days to pour libation. Right.
Every day that you eat food and you drink water, you can pour libation. There is no best day or bad day. So long as you are going to eat food and you are going to drink water, you can pour libation. That's why libation is giving drink. So is there a day that you will not eat? Yes, maybe the day you don't want to eat food or you don't want to drink water, you can say, because I am not eating, I am not drinking water, so I will not pour libation. But otherwise, every day that you drink and every day that you eat is a day you can pour libation.
Yeah, we can try also for the future.
Wonderful now. About that happy. But I can't
Yes, Serum. Theo.
Is it always important to use alcohol before libation?
That's a good question. Yes, Theophilus' question is, it is important to use alcohol always before libation. Yes, it's important to use alcohol, but alcohol is not the only drink that is used for pouring libation. Water is the best. As you can see, when we start to do the Facebook Live, we went to Legba at the gate. We didn't use alcohol. We used just jachi, which is the corn flour with water, and then we pour it down. So water is the best to use before libation. But why? We use alcohol because it is believed that when you take alcohol, or when spirit takes alcohol, they become active. Just like we humans, as I said earlier, the spirits are just beings like us, but they are only invisible to our eyes. When you take one concord, give me the concord. This is called concord in Ewe. When you take a tequila, one full one, you wait for, take ram, one full one, or you take a peteshi, one full one, or take a gogoro, just mention it, or gin. And when you take one full one, you wait for 5 to 10 minutes. How do you feel? You begin to sweat from your armpit, and you begin to feel like you are in the mood. So so whatever you feel, okay. So it is with the spirit world. So when you give them alcohol, that is what makes them become active, and then they start working. So when you are telling them something, they will hear it inside their proper ear. I can't people say you hear inside the pro. So that is why we use alcohol like ram, gin, all these things to give spirit, to just to awaken them so that they can work. And don't forget that these drinks are all called spirits. They are also called spirits. So we give them but then sometimes you will be advised to use something for libation instead of water, instead of alcohol. But that is usually the Vodu giving you a direct instruction. I remember some time back, somebody came, and then he wanted to pour libation, or he doesn't know what to do. And then a person asked, my situation is that difficult. I may not be able to be affording alcohol. So what do I do? There's water. You can use water. But the spirit said, the divination spirit at that time said, no. You go and get coconut. and pour libation with coconut water every day for this number of days. The coconut, at least, you can buy. Maybe it's not that expensive. One can manage. So the person continued praying with the coconut water. The person continued praying with the coconut water for a while, and things started to move. Things started to move. But you know, also sometimes coconut water is very, very pure water. That's why some people even use it as a drip. In case there is no normal drip, they can use coconut water as a drip because it's very pure. It's protected. Nothing has entered it. It's just natural sugar water or natural sugar water. So sometimes people can use coconut water, fresh coconut water, to pray. And you know, in Hindu temples, especially in the Tamil shrines in India, coconut is used like you come and break the coconut, the dry one, on the spirit, and then the water splashes on the spirit. Especially when they are doing the Taipusam, which is the Hindu festival where people pierce their bodies and carry all kind of this in. They put the fish hooks, big fish hooks, and people will be dangling in the air and all this thing. And they walk on coal, fire will be burning, and people will walk through the coal, burning coal. That's voodoo. And people use coconut water a lot. That's why in Indian cuisine, especially South Indian cuisine, coconut milk is paramount. So coconut is a pure, also another way or water or drink to use to pray. Like we are using jachi here, which is a corn flour and this. In another part of the world, in the Pacific and all this, it is coconut water.
Can you hear me?
So it is not always alcohol.
Can you hear me?
You can use water, you can use coconut water,
Yeah.
you can use
You can use
palm
sweet
wine.
drink. Sweet drink.
You see that?
I say you can use
Just
sweet
asking a
drink.
question.
Can you hear me?
Sweet drinks also. Yes, we can hear you. We can use sweet drinks because, like, when we are feeding the ancestors, when we come to the women who are dead, like our dead ancestors, women, sometimes we don't give them hard liquor. We buy them sweet drinks, lamle, lion killer, Sprite,
Liha.
and all this in bed. Mostly not colored one. Solom, liha, and like what we call liha in Ewe, which is the original drink of the Eves. Li is corn in Ewe. Aha means drink. So liha means drink made out of li or corn. That's what the people call, other people call it asana and all this thing. That drink is not alcoholic, but that is the original drink that we use in praying to the stool. So that drink is very, very important. So when we do rituals and ceremonies, that drink is always available. It's the first drink to use to pray to the ancestors, and it's not alcoholic.
If you have 2 or more in your home, how would you know?
I can't hear you.
Okay. If you have about 1 or 2 voodoo with you, how would you know that one is jealous?
You have asked a question.
It's a good question. A very good question. I keep saying that spirits are beings, only that they are invisible to the human eyes. Vodus also get jealous. And if you are attending to one more than another, they become jealous. And also, if there is a voodoo, just like a woman, you marry number one woman, first woman, and is with you. Now you find number two, and you are more concentrating on number two than number one. Number one will become automatically jealous. So the Vodus are also like that. But how do you know? You feel they'll communicate with you. You see that sometimes when you send the old one to work, it won't go. Because it sees that you are concentrating on the new Voodoo that you got. Like I used to tell you that when Jokpata, that room where Jokpata is now, originally it was not given to Jokpata. I put Jokpata together and Ita. And some are made with fire and all this. So we being human, because we are made with all the five elementals, this thing, that's why we are physical. I mean, we have matter, air, luminous, and light, and everything. So that's why light, all this, and that's why we are complete like this. But there are beings which are only four. What you are calling, sometimes people are calling marine spirits or water spirits. They are only liquid, but then they can from time to time transform into physical for a short time to communicate or do something, or come into the vision or in the memory or the mind on the psychic plane for the person who is connecting with them. So spirits are just beings like us. We are all working for the same great God that created the universe. So I told people many times that we don't worship spirits. We are partners. They are on the psychic plane, we are on the physical plane, and we are working together for the benefit of humanity. That's all. So people mistakenly say you are worshiping them. No, we are partners. When you have a very good pal, one person is the driver and another one is a conductor or a mate. The mate is getting the passengers into the car and collecting the money while the driver is working. The two of them are driving the car, but one is holding the steer. That's all. That is what spiritual work or voodoo work is all about. We are partners. We are not worshiping them and they are not worshiping us. We are not their servant and they are not our servant. We are all worshiping. We are all working together for a common goal.
I have something to add about the spirits getting jealous. Can you hear me?
You said?
I said yes. I have something to add about spirit getting jealous. Is if you don't do your proper divination, sometimes two spirits that are competing against each other can start cancelling out their work, and that they will stop the progress from happening. They will be cancelling out because they are challenging each other. And so there are some rituals that you have to do to kind of bind your spirits together, to force them to work together, or else you'll be trying to send this spirit that used to work before, but because some other spirit is jealous and they are trying to compete among themselves, they will not work. So you need to go and do a divination with a proper priest and do some rituals so that your spirits are going to be one together and then work in unison. Because if you start getting plenty spirits and they start cancelling out their work, yeah, you will not be going anywhere.
Do you understand what Sena is saying? Okay, he's saying that Sena is saying, okay, you are far away, so you cannot hear because we don't have the what do you call it? Audio is not big, it's on the phone. That when you have spirits with you, and then they will start this, and they will start competing with each other because maybe you are sending this one, and then you are sending this one. Now the two of them realize that one is being to do a task, and the other one is jealous. So you want to kind of counter cross that one's work. So the two of them are now fighting who will do the work, who will not do the work, and whatever you are giving them, task you are giving them to do, they won't do it because this one's just like a human being. This one's you go and do it, then you can say you to go and do it. Let's see. Then the two will not do it. So we have rituals that you have to do to put your spirits together. So whenever you send one, the rest should support that one that you have sent so that the work can be fulfilled or the task can be fulfilled. That's why usually at the end of the year, when we do end of year ceremony, you see that we put all the spirits together in a circle and we feed them because they are one. in one circle, they are all one, because you have, when you put a circle around a plant or a spirit, means you are ordaining it to be in the place of God. You're giving it that respect. That's why you make that circle. So when you put them all together, they know that they are like one team, and they have one common goal, is to work with you. So when you send them later, when each one goes to each place, they know that we are all one. So when they are working, they work as a team. Even though you may go and pray to like Abochi, but then Abochi stands up and then call the rest. And this particular spirit that we used yesterday to do the ceremony for the lady, that spirit is like the horse or the vehicle for all the spirits in this house. So is the one going to move them to wherever, whoever is being sent is supposed to take them. Yes, automatic. Minister of Transport. So that the spirit work is very interesting when you understand. But then a lot of people don't really know the work, but they just want to tell people that they are spiritualists, and they create all kind of confusions in the minds of people and call themselves spiritualists, and they don't even know what they're talking about. But then it's not my place. The world is large. We are all here to play our part. You will be judged according to what you do, and I will be judged according to what I do. So it is not my place to tell someone that you are not a good priest or you are not a good spiritualist. I know what I am doing, and maybe somebody somewhere will also say, I don't know what I am doing, but I know what I am doing. And if I am communicating it and you see that it is not correct, you can tell it. You have more questions?
Last question. Last question. I'll come for the moment. What is the difference between the Asantis, they have, theirs is called Akomfu. Is it similar to Voodoo?
Yes, it is language. Okay. The Yoruba is calling it Orisha, or I call it Awu. You see, when they call the word Babalawo, when they call the word Babalawo, it's not Babalawo, it's Babalawo. Awu is spirit. So Baba is father. So Baba Alawu, the father of spirits. And then it becomes Babalawo, Babalawo. It's not Babalawo, it's Baba Alawu. In Yoruba, it is Baba Alawu, the father of spirits. Then it becomes Babalawo. So in Ewe, we say Huno. What is Hu? Hu is God. In the Ewe, the real Ewe word of God is Hu. It's not Mawu. Mawu is just something that is qualified, that is which you cannot surpass. But the real name of God is Hu. So somebody is Huno. Somebody is Hunsi. Hunoga. Hunga. It is the word of God which is Hu in Ewe. And that Hu is the deity itself. When you go into Hebrew, it's the deity itself. It's in the 6 and 7 books of Moses, which says the deity itself is called Hu. And Hu is in everything. When you make, you are calling God. Because when that Hu gets out of your body, you are a dead thing. You don't exist anymore. So the name of God is Hu. So people we are calling it Voodoo, as in some words they are calling it Voodoo or whatever. Akom is the way the Akans call Voodoo. So whoever is in charge of Akom is called Akom. So I say Akom. So whoever is in charge of in Yoruba is called Baba Alawu. So, Akom, Vodu, Awu, they are the same thing, spirit. Only that the languages are different, the cultures are different, but then at the end of the day, it's the same. It's no different. Because I was telling someone about the guns calling a servo bad destiny or bad spirit, Beshi. In Eve, we call it Bechi. Egbe. What you have spoken down before coming into this world. Egbechichi. So when they say Bechi is worrying you, means what you have spoken in the world before you appear on this face of life is what is following you. If you say that when I come into this world I'll be thief, when you come here you'll be thief. Are you understanding? So we, the Aves, we know that the world exists in the visible and in the invisible. So before you appear on the visible plane, you were in the invisible plane. So whatever you have made over there and whatever you have said over there, when you come into this world, that's what you will continue. And like me today, if I live in this life and I die, I believe very strongly that in my next life, wherever I will be, I will continue this way. It's not that I will become a different thing. Even if I become anything different, it will still be through this way. So, Akom, Vodu, Orisha, whatever you call it, they are all spirit. It's not anything different. It's only the language and the culture that gives the name. The question. That's why we are here. We have only another 15 minutes and then we will close this.
Oh no, we should. I beg. We should also. There are so many people online who are also asking questions. So we beg. You are in the house. You are in the house, so you can ask Papa anytime.
Last one.
To allow also the other people online to ask questions.
The people online. No, last question. I will not ask again. I will not ask any question again. I don't answer for that. If, for instance, you didn't come to meet your ancestors, like you don't know their names, but let's say, for instance, 5 years ago, you knew your uncle, but your uncle was a drunkard, and he passed on. I feel you know his name. When you pour libation for him to go and do anything for you, because on the physical plane, he normally gets drunk. Can he do the job for you?
When people die, they become real. When people, I don't know whether you have ever heard that when people are dying, at that time, they can't tell lie again. Whatever they have done in this life, they will say it. If they have killed people before they have done anything, because at the last end, you are meeting your inner self, which is your destiny. And it is pure. Whatever you have done, you can't hide it anymore. So when people die, whatever they are, it will show. Even if they were hiding it on the physical plane. So when your uncle who is a drunkard or was a drunkard died, when he goes back into the spirit world or into the ancestral world, he may not be a drunkard anymore. He will be, maybe the things that compel him to become a drunkard are no more going to control him over there. So when you call his name and tell him to give message to the people that you belong to, whom you don't know, for sure, he will be able to connect you.
Yeah. So we can move to the other question that people posted online.
Yes.
Like there was one question was about revenge. If there is space for revenge in Vodu, if someone did something bad to you, is it allowed and it's a good thing to go into this revenge thing?
Yes, definitely there is revenge in everything in life. Even chicken and chicken, they are fighting. And goat are fighting. And then why shouldn't human being also revenge? If you have taken what is mine unlawfully, and I am angry, why shouldn't I revenge? I have the right to revenge. But also, you must also know that every action that you take, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So if you are planning to revenge, you must also know that it is an action that you are taking. And when the consequences are coming, don't blame any other person that, oh, it is because of this, it's because of that. Because nature is such that nothing goes for nothing. If someone has done something bad against me and I feel pain and I say, that's why in Eve, they say, don't let people be calling who on you. Again, I don't know who they did you. Because when people are calling God on you or because of the action and the inactions that you have done towards their life, and they kept saying, they are pronouncing God on you with the pain that you caused them, and it will surely you will be paid accordingly. That's why in our language from childhood they will tell you that Meganano no you. Don't let them be calling God on you because it will come. So, but then if you decide to take the action into your hand, then you must also be prepared to get the reaction when it comes. To finish my case.
Yeah. And we already touched the topic of religion and voodoo, and the difference is not the religion. And there's Emma that's asking about the relationship between voodoo and science.
Interesting question.
In what our spirituality is called, what we call metaphysical science. I don't know whether they have heard this word before, metaphysical science. Because voodoo or spirituality is a science, but a science that is on the mental or the psychic plane, which, when properly worked out, will materialize on the physical plane. So it's a metaphysical science.
I'd like to add on that question on the relationship between voodoo and science. I would say that voodoo is not against science in any way, but there's a part of voodoo that science still hasn't understood yet, right? And that would be similar to what we call now quantum physics, of when you have, quantum entanglement and something happens here, and then in some part of the universe you make a change X, and then the same change X happens somewhere else. But
We are not hearing the question.
we can. Can you hear me?
Bring it close to Antonio.
Can you hear
shout,
me?
Shout. No,
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Let me hear it from your.
Yes.
From here I can hear.
Yes, I would say that voodoo is not against science, right? So, as my father said, voodoo is an ancient African metaphysical phenomena. And that's similar to what we understand as quantum physics today. Quantum physics is still not fully understood, but with time, I do believe that people will understand why, someone can divine somewhere in a village with no electricity, no internet, and still get information in Japan, right? At one point in time, I would like to reference something outside of voodoo. For example, in Hinduism and in yoga, people use meditation to achieve nirvana and to understand the divine. And at some point, science came to validate Hinduism and meditation. And now, through neuroscience, we can see the physical and scientific benefits of meditation, right? But this happened in this century. But Hinduism and meditation has always been valid for centuries, right? It's been there before science came to validate it. So I do think that science is a sure and certain way to acquire knowledge, but it's a slow way of acquiring knowledge, right? It's certain, it's sure, but it takes time because of all the theories and the hypotheses. But that doesn't exclude everything outside of science as knowledge, right? There's knowledge in terms of science that even today we don't understand, and I do believe strongly that with time people will come to understand why voodoo works, right? Why what we do actually has that opposite reaction, but maybe right now it's not there yet. And I do think that it's our responsibility to tell our experience and to invite science to come to explain voodoo. whether that's in the field of divination, if that's in the field of herbal medicine, and things like that, because the knowledge is, the knowledge is there, and it's now for us to do the research and to be able to validate that. But even without scientific validation, voodoo is working, and voodoo has been working for centuries, the same way meditation has been working for centuries before science came to validate it. That's my contribution.
Yeah, and also I think the way science became like the Western way of thinking about science became the like the standards and the reference. And I think we can also
No, you see,
move to
when you talk
Christopher
about
now.
you talk about science and spirituality. Yesterday's spirituality is today's science. I don't know whether you people have heard of alchemy before. Alchemy, which was in the olden days was used as magic, is today's chemistry. So in the past, alchemy was the one that people who are spiritualists, how to change metals or do things to change them into another thing, was regarded as, or was the olden days, the way spirituality was. But today it has been broken down to the level of what we call chemistry, and everybody can go into a lab now openly and then practice this thing. But those things in the past were all spirituality. So spirituality is science, and science is spirituality. Whichever way you look at it, it is. There is no two ways about it. So if people don't know, if you know about this kinetic energy that is going on, like it's mind transmission and metamorphosis. Let's mention them. I mean, things that you can be here and think, and then it happens somewhere. It is all energy. It's science. It's science. How can we be in Ghana and then send Voodoo from here to go to America and go and work, and Voodoo went to America and work without anybody seeing it, but the work is fulfilled? Is it not science? When long time before, when internet was not there, you think it was not existing? It has always been existing. So many human beings were not able to get any physical or material tools to put it together for others to see. But it has always been there. So long as there are sound waves and light waves and all kind of things, spirituality has always been there, and it is science. Yeah, science is spirituality, whichever way. It's only that we as human beings, we are now developing tools to be able to capture gamma, theta waves and all these waves and beta waves to put them together and show them on a physical plane. But they had always been there, and spiritualists from time immemorial had always known this thing and connected with all these things. So it's not that they don't know. It is a science. Spirituality is a science. That's why they call it metaphysics. Any question anyway?
Yeah, we have.
They say you have so many plenty questions. I mean, I'm tired. I'm hungry. The world should know I'm hungry now. I want to eat.
Yeah, because we've been online for 1 hour and 40 minutes.
More.
Like,
Yeah. It's long. Almost getting to 2 hours. That's quite long. So let's answer some of the questions, and we'll reserve the other ones for another week.
It's a process.
Yes, cannot be all cannot be answered in one day. So Senna, you read some of the questions to me.
Yeah, one question was about how to remember dreams more easily. How
to remember dreams. Not everybody remember their dreams. And how can you remember dreams? Don't eat plenty of food before going to sleep. But when you eat too much food before going to sleep, you will have nightmares. Because the body, the mind, your spirit are all trying to digest that food, and you cannot be. So usually when you eat too much before going to bed is when you have night. So when you eat less before going to, that's why it's even medically, it's advised that your food that you eat before going to bed should not be heavy. You should eat it earlier so that the mind and everything can relax. So for a person to be able to remember their dreams, I think you need to do some other spiritual thing. Your memory has to be sharp. If your memory is not sharp, you cannot remember dreams. Because the dream, what is dream? Dreams are flashes from the subconscious mind into the conscious mind. So when your conscious mind is not so strong, when those flashes come, you cannot capture it. Then you lose it. So when you do, your memory is strong, then when things are revealed to you, you will be able to capture it and then work it when you wake up.
And also, I'll say that for dreaming, you need to basically purify and cleanse yourself to be able to receive the dream, because sometimes you are not clean yourself, or you are not in the best state spiritually to receive dreaming. So little things like the dirt in your room, or let's say your sheets, your bed sheets, you haven't washed your bed sheets in a long time, or
For
for
years.
example, other people have slept on your bed and their energy is interfering with yours. All those things can
We had a
affect whether
problem
or
with that
not.
before. Somebody
Yeah,
slept on the bed and another person slept, and then the problem came.
yeah. So you, if you want to really dream, you need to be alone, and you want your energy and your spirit to be clear and connect with the divine. But when you mix with other places, or even you are, let's say, your own shirt, you have given your shirt to somebody and somebody wears your shirt and
Yeah.
you also wear it again, all those things can be interfering with your connection to the divine. So you need to be very conscious about what you let into your space. And when you clear all those things and you do ritual cleansing through herbal bath, then when the dream come, it can come very vivid. But if you don't do those things, you can go months and maybe you're dreaming, but you yourself, you never remember it, or you're not in the best position to receive that. So you need to be conscious about what you are letting into your energy so that you can actually dream and receive.
Because the whole world is vibration and waves. So this particular fugu that I am wearing has got, it's a physical thing and it's emanating some vibration or some waves. So if I am wearing this thing, my soul, my spirit has identified this as mine, and it is inside this. So anytime I wear this thing, my spirit is inside. Even when I remove it and put down, my spirit is inside. So if someone also comes and wear this one, that person's spirit will mix with my spirit. So anytime I wear these clothing again, I am not wearing my own clothing. I'm also wearing that person's vibration. And it affects people. That's why I kept telling my children that they should not be exchanging like young boys and then just anybody wear anybody this thing. No, it's not good. Because another person with a negative vibration will affect your vibration. Somebody with a negative waves will affect your waves. That's why we were taught in Vodu that if you have a clothing that you don't want, you are going to you don't just leave them down so because they are old. If you are not going to wear them, use them as rag or give them to someone that you feel that is having a connection with you so the person can wear it. But don't just give it to anybody because your vibration in it. Because in Voodoo, if somebody wants to kill you by even taking a piece of your cloth, your spirit is in. They will use that to kill you. You'll be surprised that they just cut a small piece of your cloth. There's a very famous story in Ghana with General E.K. Kotoka, which is the Kotoka International Airport we are calling today. He was an army general, And he was one time a head of state in this country. Ike Kotoka and General Afrifa. They were colleagues in the military. They were the people who did a coup d'etat for Kwame Nkrumah, and Kwame Nkrumah was removed from power. They were just young boys. And got to a point, they Kotoka is an AV man, and Afrifa was Akan, Ashanti man, from this famous Ashanti town. Where is it? Let me be talking. I will come. Go. Bossy, we're talking about proper Ashanti town. So, Bossy. Anyway, forget it. I'll come to you. Okatachi, that's his name. Afrifa and Akotoka were colleagues in the army. And then they went to my old man. They went to my old man, Togbe Tuji. They were going to Congo. There was a war in Congo. So Ghanaian soldiers were sent to Congo. Listen to this very carefully. So when we are talking about this, shrine here, we are not just talking about what we are seeing today. So they went to Togbe Tuji, my teacher, my master, and my father. As young people in the military, they wanted to be protected. They were going to do peacekeeping or whatever in Congo. I think there was a Belgium and the Congolese were fighting, and this is so they were being sent. So Togbe prepared some talismans for them, for the police. So they went, and they came back alive. So even the cutlass that they were given, that they use in cutting the forest and passing through, is in Togbe's room right now. When they came back, they brought it to him and gave it to him as a gift. So after some time, whatever had happened, they become rivalry. Because the two of them were the people who made the coup to remove Kwame Nkrumah. But then there was a rivalry between them. Because Kotoka was made the head of state, and I think Afrifa was like his deputy. But there was kind of a rivalry. And they were told not to eat certain animals, like pig or pork. Shouldn't eat pork. You want to maintain your power, and you want your power to be potent. You should not eat pork. And Kotoka had a problem with Afrifa because of certain things. Afrifa wants to become the head of state. And what happened was they have to compromise Kotoka so that they can kill him. So on the 24th of February, and I think 24th February, yeah, I think so. That was a coup. 24th February 19, I don't know whether 67 or 60. Yeah, 24th February. They went and checked, did the reading, and know what to do. So they went and took a piece of Kotoka's towel, the towel that he used in bathing. Somebody pulled a string out of it. And they went and fed that thing with pork. So they compromised him. So they went to his place and they shot him, and he died. He's not supposed to die from gun wound or gunfire. He died. And then the coup d'etat happened in Ghana. And then Africa became the head of state of Ghana. And that's what we had, so many military coups in Ghana continuously until the last one was rolling. So when you are wearing your clothes and you are not careful, somebody steal anything from your cut your clothes or mix their vibration, it will affect you. I'm just trying to elaborate on what we are talking about, vibrations and waves. So if you are not careful, in Vodu, Vodu is the most powerful energy that I have ever known. I have practiced Tantra, I have practiced Hinduism, I practice Sufi, I have practiced Christianity, Kabbalah, just mention it. But Voodoo is the most powerful thing that I have ever seen. Because someone, without coming to you, will just say some few words here and say, pay, do this for them. You just say, pay, you are dead over where you are. Or the person said that you should suffer. You just look into the sky and say, hey, come la coffee, pay, your life will not be good. Finish. You will be struggling there. You'll be struggling there. You'll be struggling there. Go to church. Let the Pope use his water that he uses in bathing in his room and bath you. Let him bath you with his water or the most holiest water. I mean, it will not happen. That is how strong Voodoo is. That's why the world has labeled it evil. Because it is fearful. But it is the knowledge of nature, how to live in harmony with nature. Visible and invisible nature. So Voodoo is, if you don't know, you will just take it for granted. But if someone who is a very wicked Voodoo priest want to let your life be running, you run, you will not even know where to rest. Very dangerous. That's why we don't just talk, we don't just teach anybody just because the person will say, I want to learn. We want to know you. Whether you are a good person, but like a knife must be in the hand of good people. Otherwise, they will use it to destroy. That's why somebody asked a question earlier. I said that I don't teach people who I don't know. Any more questions? We want to close soon. Send us a word. Any question there again?
On this, following these topics, no. Then someone was asking about to comment on community priest and Voodoo priest. I don't know what do they mean.
What is a community priest?
I think we can relate this to the problem like the terminology and how people trying to use certain words.
It's not called community priest. I don't know. And a Voodoo priest. A Voodoo priest is a priest for the community. So which one is a community priest?
Yeah.
No, the person should clarify that question and then we can copy them. The person should clarify that question, then we know what they mean by community. Let me show you Facebook Live. We are doing something serious here.
Yeah, Charlene from New Jersey.
Yeah.
She's saying, so, a Voodoo can kill you even if you are a good person that is not deserving of death.
Can gun kill a good person? If gun can kill a good person, then Voodoo can kill a good person too. No,
so this goes to the point.
If gun can kill a good person, then Voodoo also can kill a good person.
If the person wants to say, if you've never done any bad,
if you've not even done any bad, someone can kill you. A lot of very innocent people have been killed and by gun or spiritual thing. It's not because it's not only when you do bad thing that spirit will kill you. I was talking about a say or destiny. When your destiny is strong, that is when that it is difficult for people to destroy you. But when your destiny is not strong, it is easy for people to invite your destiny or invoke your destiny, ask your destiny. We have been trying to kill you, but we are not killing. What can we do to kill you? And if your destiny is not strong, then your destiny is, oh, if you give me this food, I'm ready to go. That's Vodu. It's not a joke. And if the person knows and then feed that thing to your destiny will compromise and then will go. Because before they will kill, they will even tell so many things that, oh, you know, you are not taking care of him, you are not doing this, you don't even know him, you are not this and that. So if he even goes away, it will be better. So what do you want to eat? So I want to eat watching chop. No, I'm not joking.
Yeah, so but this brings you
if I can add on that,
point how to protect.
Yes, so that's the thing. So even good people can be killed just as bad people can be killed. What you consider good or bad or innocent, that's also subjective. It depends on who you're looking at. But that's why in Voodoo, it is up to the individual to fortify themselves. That is why you make your essay your destiny. Yes, you have, everybody is born with their destiny, but in Voodoo, people make their essay and they work it and they do constant rituals, constant divination to see people trying to get them to acknowledge danger and to be able to circumvent that danger. That's why you have to constantly be working. So you can't base your protection on faith alone, that I'm a good person and therefore nothing bad will happen to you. You have to work your life. Your destiny is in your hands. So you have to work your own protection, and that's why we get talismans. That is why we get more voodoo. That is why we go to far off places to learn knowledge to protect ourselves against danger and negativity. Because if you stand idle and somebody wants to, there's innovation in voodoo. If you are standing there, you think you have one voodoo and that's all, then somebody will come and get the same voodoo or get something to overcome you. So you need to constantly be learning and to be protecting yourself, or else if the problem come and you can't solve it, then the thing will overcome you. You know, at one point in time, there was no voodoo against gun. But when the gun was invented, people started making voodoo against gun. So there's also innovation in voodoo where people are constantly.
People can't hear. Tell him that people can't hear. So at one time let him repeat it because
yes, I said at one point in voodoo there was no protection against gun, but at some point voodoo priests realized that there's a threat of gun and they decided to create a new voodoo to be protecting people against bullets. So there's innovation in voodoo as well. People are always innovating and creating new spirits and new ways to tackle problems. As long as they are human problems, voodoo will always try and find ways to tackle that problem. And that's why now you see some people are saying they are using voodoo to get people online. Now people are doing reading online. So voodoo is also innovative. So if you are someone who just take to one thing and you say, well, I have this and therefore I'm not going to improve myself and I'm protected for life, then you're only joking yourself, because some people will try and get you and they also have knowledge. So you need to constantly be upgrading yourself and protecting yourself, or else you are leaving yourself and making yourself vulnerable.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I heard.
Yes, we have all understood, and we are thanking you. I think the questions are okay. I want to go and chop.
Tired.
Yeah, and we have just got Selassie Kwashiga and the husband statue of Abin. They are Abin family with their children. And their daughter was every people say Asipopwe. It means we hatched her here. We hatched the daughter here, Asipopwe. So they are also among us. They came to church, right? So I think Facebook Live will be cutting off in the next 1 minute. So I'm saying thank you to all of our viewers around the world. People come from Bahamas and is it Bahamas?
Yes, yeah, Bahamas.
People from all over the world, America and wherever, they are talking
Haiti,
from Haiti and everywhere. We are thanking them, and we thanking them for joining us and sharing the knowledge with us, and also asking questions. We are praying and hoping that our next Facebook Live will be coming Sunday. We may be talking from Hohoi in the Volta region, where another shrine is at Hohoi in the Volta region. But then, if not, we will continue from here, and we hope to see you all. And I thank you all for your questions, because the Vodu is a continuous journey, and we are trying to demystify this fearfulness that people had put into themselves, because people thought that when you say you are doing voodoo means you are a brother to the man called Satan. But Satan does not exist. It's you who is your Satan. There's no Satan anywhere. You don't get anything. It's you who is your own Satan. So, you are your own gods. Hindus will say so. And you are your own Satan. So grandfather they are talking about.